Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Another week, another cup of tea. It is week something. I know we're in the double digits. Um, but I don't keep track. I don't go back and watch the videos after I make them. But here it is, Black Sheep Podcast, week whatever it is. And today we're talking about a weird topic that I think is relatable, and that I think needs to be addressed, especially because I'm the one who made this brand, Black Sheep. So what we're talking about is being treated to the point where you're considered a black sheep of a group. Um, and then when you make it public that that's how you're treated, and you make a name out of it, you make a brand out of it, um, seems like people want to act like that was never the case. You're not a black sheep. What are you talking about? Don't wear that stuff. Don't talk about this stuff. You're not treated differently. You're not a black sheep. And in all honesty, if just one person can relate to this, then I feel like I've done my part in this video. So, back in February, I finally dropped the clothing line part of Black Sheep Apparel. And the second I dropped it, people were acting like, why? Why would you name it that? What's the meaning behind that? You're not a black sheep. You're not treated differently. I just think it's funny because where was that energy when let's go back to it. In my first podcast, maybe my second podcast, I kind of hit a few things. One thing I hit on was a time where I walked into a family member's house and there was a friend of theirs doing work in their house. And again, I don't know this guy. I've maybe seen him 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. I've never said more than, "Hey, how you doing?" I've never had a full on conversation with him. So, I walk into a family member's house. This guy's in there, and he sees me, and he goes, "Oh, hey, it's the black sheep." And the family member whose house it was kind of just did like an awkward laugh, like he didn't know what to say. And that's a prime example. Number one is, how is a stranger gonna say, "Hey, it's the black sheep," when one, he's never really talked to me, he's never gotten to know me. So the only reason he would say that is, it depends on what that family member, other family members, or other whoever have said to him before about me that would make him think that. So that's, prime example number one. And then another one of my podcasts, it was, again, the first or second one, I mentioned how there were two large family events where, different generations of my family and extended cousins, whatever it was, all got together for two different events. They were pretty close together. And I didn't get an invite to any of them. I actually didn't know any of them were happening until I saw the big, large group family picture the next day on Facebook for both events. So the first event, I kind of addressed my feelings. What the fuck? Like, why was I not invited? I'm like the only one not there. And for the other people that weren't there, I did reach out to, and they're like, "Oh no, we knew, we just couldn't go, or we didn't want to go." The fuck, dude, I was not invited. And regardless of if you think I would have gone or if you think I wanted to go, invite me still. The fuck? So after the first one, I addressed my feelings. They said, "Oh, we didn't have your email address." Whatever. Okay. Honest mistake. And then not too long after, I feel like it was the same year. It couldn't have been any more than a month or two apart. There was another event, same scenario, big group, different generations, different cousins from all around came together. Another group photo posted the next day on Facebook, and I lost my shit after that. And I even said, I addressed, family members. I'm like, why was I not invited? And then instead of saying, "Oh, we didn't have your email address," whatever, instead of it being like a contact issue, it was, "You wouldn't have gone anyways. Don't be so dramatic about it. You wouldn't have gone." How can you prove I wouldn't have gone if I don't get invited to go to stuff? You have nothing to prove that I won't go to something. And after that, there were just events, of smaller groups of, people that I wasn't, invited to. Oh my goodness, I'm over here trying to fix my hood. There were like smaller events, and, I see the picture the night of or the next day. And I ask, family members why I wasn't there. And, there was one event that was a smaller group, of family members, but I asked, and the person who invited them said, well, I chose people who I thought represent the family well. And it's like, what's representing the family well, you know? I mean, because I have tattoos, because maybe my hair was dyed at the time, because my piercings, because I didn't finish college, which nobody would know unless you were out telling people. And I don't care. I mean, I fucking tell people I didn't finish college. College is a waste of fucking time, but that's for another week, I guess. Um, so, that was another point where I was really starting to see, like, wow, like, this is really how it is. So, just events keep happening and happening, and I wasn't getting invited to things. And when I would say something, I was always told, oh, it was just like a small thing. Not everybody was invited. And again, like, I was told that, they only invited to certain things, they only invited people they thought represent the family well. And I mean, shit, if I don't represent the family well, cool, I guess. I mean, y'all are missing out. Um, so that, that's that. It got to the point where I took my last name off Facebook. And that was the first time I was kind of gaslight. Like, that was the first time the gaslighting occurred. When I took my name off Facebook, it was my fault. Like, I'm overreacting. I'm being sensitive. I'm being over dramatic. And it's crazy. Like, first of all, it's just me taking my last name off Facebook. I didn't make it public that I took my last name off of Facebook. I just took it off, I guess, as I was sharing things. People noticed it just said my first and middle name. So I was getting calls and texts, and yo, what's going on? What's the issue? What's the deal? People are, I mean, nothing. I didn't cause a huge scene. I just took my last name off Facebook. I don't represent the family well. I'll act like I'm not a part of it. Then later on, other things came around. And here's my thing. I mean, people can act like they've never said things to me before. They've never treated me certain ways before, which is fine. I mean, it's he said, she said. It depends on who you want to believe. But luckily, I do have a phone that has text messages that go back to like 2012, 2013. I don't delete anything in here. All my text messages from like DoorDash and Grubhub and Amazon and all like deliveries, I don't delete anything. Okay, this phone is blown up. So there is a text message from somebody that I will read because I did post it on Facebook or Instagram just to show like, I'm not making shit up. It's from March 7th, 2018. It says, I know we talked about... Okay, so a little backstory. My YouTube channel that I post these podcasts on, I changed it to Black Sheep. But it used to be called Admin Productions. I've talked about this in podcasts before. People wanted me to change the name. They were like, oh, why don't you make it this? Why don't you make it that? They wanted me to get my last name off, which I don't know why. I wasn't posting anything bad. Maybe I was posting stuff they didn't find funny or they didn't like, but nothing I posted was bad. Okay, like, I'm not fucking stupid. So this is a text from March 7th, 2018. It says, I know we talked about your production company. I am concerned. Please change the name. You don't want to embarrass our family. Thanks. You don't want to embarrass our family over some dumb YouTube videos that, again, were nothing bad. You don't want to embarrass our family. Look, again, I mean, you can take what I say, you can take what other people say. And again, I'm not over here to bash people. I'm not over here to talk poorly about people because I've grown. I've made better relationships with people that I didn't have relationships with 6 years ago. And I don't have relationships with people that treat me poorly. And I'm not here to bash them, but I'm also not here to kiss their ass and talk so highly of them when I'm treated like shit. So, that's that. But really, again, so in February where I dropped this, it got to the point where people, I guess, were cautious to say certain things to me or treat me a certain way because now they know, like, I'm not afraid to, hell, at this point, make a name off of how I've been treated. And those were just some, like, examples of, like, what really got me to where I am, with this brand. Again, I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to talk poorly about anybody. The past is in the past. I get over shit easily. I talked about last week I think it was whenever I talked about the West Coast thing. I think that was last week. But some shit happened with me. I kind of got screwed out of certain things with that. I got over it, and me and those guys are cool. We're good. One of them even texted me after I made the video and was just, reaching out to see how I was doing. I don't have bad blood with anybody. I cannot talk to you, but be fine. you know, it is what it is. And speaking of West Coast, and this is a point I wanted to get into with the whole being the black sheep, is that it seems like no matter what I make, no matter what I create, no matter what I'm a part of, because it's me, certain people just don't seem to want to support me. And support doesn't mean buy my stuff, buy the stuff that I'm a part of. It doesn't even mean, share my stuff on social media or even like my stuff or comment on my stuff. Support doesn't have to be that. I get it. When I was a part of West Coast and, Black Sheep now, things might not be your style. But that doesn't mean you can't at least text me and, say, hey, congratulations, or hey, that's awesome, or you know what I mean? Like, support doesn't have to be giving money. Support doesn't have to be, flaunting things on social media in support of me. So support can literally be one text when I announce the brand saying congratulations, or hey, that's awesome, or hey, I'm proud of you. But it seems like things that I do, and me specifically, if it was anybody else, people would be riding their fucking ass. But it seems like no matter what I do, I get zero support from very specific people. Again, with West Coast 6 years ago and with Black Sheep now and things in between and things even before. Seems like because it's me, because it's the guy with the tattoos and the piercings and the guy who has a loud mouth, who speaks his mind and doesn't have a filter and doesn't believe in their political views and doesn't believe in their religious beliefs, views, whatever. Because it's me, I don't get support from them. Wild. But I'm not the black sheep. Interesting. Another example real quick that I want to give is when I was in college, my siblings and other family members, when people go to college, people usually kind of like rep where they're going. My sister went to Ohio State, my brother went to Alabama, and it seems like a lot of people like to rock clothing that had like those logos on it, or like the school name on it. I was at Towson for 2 years. Or a year and a half. And I even bought people clothes. Gave it to them for free. Kind of like with West Coast and Black Sheep. I gave some people stuff for free. But because it's me, because it's where I went to school, and again with West Coast and Black Sheep, because it's something I created or I was a part of, that shit either got thrown in the trash or in the back of a closet. I never saw anybody wear it. And I'm not talking about everybody. Obviously, close friends of mine, certain family members did wear it. I'm talking about these same people that do not support whatever I do. Again, not even a simple text saying congratulations. But again, I'm not the black sheep. And that's that. Anyway, I don't want to get into too much. Wow, we are almost at the 15-minute mark. I swear to God, man, I know what topic I talk about, but I don't plan anything out. I just sit down, turn my camera on, turn my microphone on. Well, except for the 1 week my microphone was off for the first 10 seconds. But I just start going, man. So, I hope I don't bore you. If I do, I'm sorry. Again, if I can relate to just one person watching this, I've done what I came here to do. Next week, we're going to talk about something I know has got to be relatable because I talk about this with many people and they've been through and go through the same thing. I want to talk about when you get gifts, whether it's a check, money, a physical object, whenever you get gifts, but the people who give you gifts don't see it as a gift. They see it as a, hey, if you're nice to me, if we're on good terms, you get to keep this. But if you don't talk to me, if you're not nice to me, if you don't do something I want you to do, I'm taking it away. So it's not really a gift, but we'll get into it next week. Yeah, I think that's that, man. So until next week, stay beautiful. Don't be a dick. Don't judge people. And as always, peace out, Girl Scouts.